So ആദ്യം acknowledge the conflict ആണ് prepare for resolution അത്. So the conflict has to be acknowledged before it can be managed or resolved. The tendency is for the people to ignore the first signs of conflict. Perhaps it seems trivial or is difficult to differentiate from the normal healthy debate the teams can thrive on. If you recognize about the conflict in your team, discuss it with the members. Once the team recognizes the issue, it can start the process of resolution. So in this topic, we can understand that we have to acknowledge the conflicts. So that is the first most thing we have to do. Even before managing the conflict, we have to acknowledge the conflict. So the tendency is for the people. That is, people will have a tendency that we ignore these kinds of conflicts. Perhaps we think that it is unimportant. But it's really important to know the conflicts, to acknowledge the conflicts. Or it is difficult to differentiate from the normal healthy debate that teams can thrive on. If you are concerned about the conflicts that are occurring in your team, discuss it with the members in your team, and once the team recognizes the issue, they can solve the conflict. So firstly, acknowledge the conflict. We need to acknowledge the conflict even before we are managing this kind of conflicts. Next is discuss the impact. As a team, we have to discuss the impact these conflicts creates on our team dynamics and all. Okay. Third one is agree to a cooperative process. Everyone involved must agree to cooperate to resolve the conflict. Everyone should involve to agree to cooperate and to resolve the conflict. It means putting the team first. Meanwhile, setting aside your own opinions or ideas for time being. If someone wants to win more than he or she wants to resolve the conflict, you may find yourself at a stalemate. Okay. So agree to a cooperative process. We have to agree that we need to look forward as a team, not as a personal or individual. We should set aside our personal opinions and look forward for improving the team. And go team perspective, not individual perspective. Okay, so that is agree to a cooperative process. And then it is agree to communicate. That is most important process throughout this prepare for resolution is communication must be open. Everyone should keep on communicating. Okay, so what are the 4 steps which comes under the session prepare for resolution? So the first one was acknowledge the conflict, second was discuss the conflict, discuss the impact, and then agree for a cooperative process, then agree for communication. So acknowledge the conflict. You understood that the conflict should be acknowledged first, discuss the impact of that conflict, agree to a cooperative process by setting aside our personal opinions, and then agree to communication. That is the most important word resolution process for keeping communication open. Next is understand the situation. We have to understand the situation. So for that, we are dividing the topics into clarify positions, list facts, assumptions, beliefs underlying each position, analyze in smaller groups, convene back as a team. So what were the 4 things? Clarify the position, list facts, assumptions, and beliefs underlying in each position, analyze in smaller groups, convene back as a team. So clarify the position. Whatever the conflict or disagreement, it's important to clarify the people's position. Whether there are obvious factions within the team who supports a particular option, approach, or idea. Each team member holds their own unique view. Each position needs to be clearly identified and articulated by those involved. So whatever may be the conflicts, whatever may be the disagreement, it is important to clarify the people's position in the team. That each person will have their own perspectives, their own positions in the team. So who support a particular option, approach, or idea. So each person has their own perspectives, okay, their own positions. So we need to understand their positions in that team. Okay, clarify people's positions. And the next one is list facts, assumptions, beliefs underlying each positions. So why do they hold that position? What is the base belief of that position? Why do they believe that thing? So here it says, what does each group of person believe? What does they believe? What do they believe? Okay. What does he believe? What does her believe? What they believe? Okay. What do they have? What do they value? What information are they using as a basis of these beliefs? What decision making criterion processes have they employed? So what are the basis of these beliefs? That comes under list facts, assumptions, beliefs underlying each position. And then next one is analyze in smaller groups. That is, break the team into smaller groups which come in an alliance. That is, which those people who have the same kind of positions, okay, same kind of perspectives come under separate group. And inside that group, they dissect into different positions, right? We need to analyze and dissect each position. We have to analyze and dissect each position in a smaller group. And after a group dialogue, most people will be likely to be much closer of reaching agreement. So the process of uncovering the facts and assumptions allows people to step away from the emotional attachments. So here we uncover, the facts and assumptions, and it makes them to step away from the emotional attachment and move forward to see the issue more effectively. When you separate a lines, the fire of conflict can be burned out quickly, and it's much easier to see the issue and facts laid bare. So what we have just studied here in this setting, understand the situation, is firstly we need to list out the positions. Different people will be having different kinds of positions based on their beliefs, right? And we need to understand their positions. Each positions need to be clearly identified. Who support a particular option. So list facts, assumptions, and beliefs underlying each position. And under each position, we have to list the facts, assumptions, beliefs. What does each group or person believe? What do they value? What information are they using as a basis of these beliefs? The next one is analyze in smaller groups. And in the smaller groups, we need to analyze, അതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് എന്താണ് അവരുടെ ബിലീഫ്. Dissect the positions. Okay, each positions. Now after that, convene back as a team. That is, after the group dialogue, each side is likely to be much closer. Each side is likely to be much closer to an agreement. So, because they're uncovering the facts and the assumptions, which allows people to step away from their own opinions and come into as a whole team. Okay. When you separate alliance, the fire of conflict can burn out quickly because it uncovers the facts and assumptions. That allows people to step away from the emotional attachment and see the issue more objectively. And the step 3 is reach agreement. Now that all parties understand the other's positions, all parties understand the other's position, the team must decide which decision or course of action to take. With the facts and assumptions considered, it's easier to see the best of the action and reach agreement. Now that all parties understood each other's positions, and the team must decide what decision or course of action to take. And team is the one which decide what actions and course you need to take. And with the facts and the assumptions, considered, it's easier to see the best of the actions and reach agreement. It is easier to see the best of the actions and reach the agreement. So now all the parties understand that. Now all the parties have understood each other's positions, and based on their positions, they create their decisions. With the facts and assumptions considered, it's easiest to see the best of the actions and reach agreement.